Welcome to Milk Market Tidbit for the November Milk Production Report that USDA released yesterday. This is Dr. Lawrence Jones with Farm Institute, and I'm recording this on Friday morning, December the 20th. As usual, the Milk Production Report is kind of the first report that comes out, and it's followed up by the Cold Storage Report and the Dairy Products Report, usually at the beginning of the next month. The Milk Production Report contains three numbers, and these are all an equation of milk per day equals cows times milk per cow. So once you have two of them, you know the third one. Going into this report, what we thought was going to happen is no change in production month over month. And the reason I did that was because if you look historically with USDA, change October to November is pretty well flat. And so basically everything was flat. So 64.38, we kept that. 9,365, we kept that for cow numbers, and overall production the same as last month on a daily basis. But what did we get? So the first thing we got was significant up revisions by USDA for October. For example, cow numbers came up about 5,000 cows. Total production came up a little bit. So the typical numbers are calculated from whatever the revisions were. And then here are the actual numbers that came in. So we came in about 98.6. So that was below the estimate that I had. And milk per cow actually came down almost a pound. So that was a little bit surprising. And in fact, we missed the estimate by 5.2 million pounds a day. So what I like to do is when we miss an estimate, we kind of dig into the data and say what caused that problem. But overall, the trade liked this report because it was released right here at 3 o'clock. And as soon as it was released, there was a significant jump in the prices. And again, this is December to June. The headline number was the fact that California was down about 9.2%. And so when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's pretty significant. But what I did is I went back and I started calculating what the California numbers look like for 2023 and then 2024. So if we just kind of go through this, if we look at million pounds per day on a month-over-month basis, last November it was up about 1.8 million. This November is down 4.5, and so that would be consistent with our overall loss. So California contributed basically all of it. So month over month, last year they were up 1.68. This year they're down 4.39. And then let's look at the year over year data, because in October they were already down 3.5%. So when the November number came in at 9.2%, really month over month, it's only the difference between these. So California, was not that they were down 9% in November, it's that they've been falling kind of gradually and they kind of came down a little bit more in November. So this headline is a little bit misleading because it's not the fact that they were down 9.2% right now. So if we look at the cow numbers, we've increased cow numbers by 20,000 cows over the year. And if we take the current cow numbers and project them back, there were higher cow numbers in 2018 when we had low prices, lower in 2019 when we had better prices. And given the current cow numbers, we can actually calculate that we've got less than 0.75 replacements per cow, and actually it's about 0.72 at this point. And that's all driven off by the slaughter data. And you can see that on the call rate, replacement rate, ever since, about August of 2023, this thing has just been collapsing. On a rolling basis, we call 385,000 fewer cows in the last 12 months than we did the 12 months previously. So we should have just been exploding this herd. But in fact, all we did was increase about 20,000 cows. That's consistent with no replacements. Here's the daily production. Again, I'm going to put in the long-term trend. So you could argue that this break here in 2022 probably should have been on a long-term trend, but it got broken off. And this is significantly down. So our production was significantly below what we expected. And our federal milk marketing data didn't do anything to help us with this because we saw California up 10%. But the reason is we had significant repooling of milk. And in fact, last month we were 58% pooled. This month we're 66%. So a lot more milk came back into the pool. So overall, this is just pretty useless. And if we plot just out the federal milk marketing data versus USDA, whenever we get these big gyrations, you know that depooling has changed, and that's exactly what's happened here. So what's going to happen in the next year? Well, basically, class 4 is going to be depooled all the way through. This is class 4, this is class 3. You can see the differences here. And here's the actual spread if you want to see the numbers. But clear out in November, we're almost $2 higher for class 4 than class 3. This is the milk per cow per day, and it follows that kind of same scenario where it's been increasing significantly, and this 2022 number probably ought to be on that trend, but it's been falling off precipitously and was down more than we expected it. But I'm of the opinion that these headline numbers of milk per cow being down, total milk being down is going to be extremely misleading, because my prediction for fat percentage this month is going to be 4.38, up 12 ticks from last month. Now, a year ago was 4.34, so this is very consistent. And if we put that into the current situation, fat production month over month is going to be up 1.4%, and it's the components that drive kind of the market, not the actual pounds of fluid milk. So I think this is kind of a big issue here, that we're watching these overall big numbers, but the component numbers are kind of masking what's really going on. So we had the global dairy trade this week, a national dairy product sales report with the advanced prices, and then the milk production report that we just reported. Next week we have a holiday, but on Monday we'll get the cold storage report, and I'll do the next milk market tidbit on that.